The monastery garden was quiet, yet brimming with the sounds of nature. The early morning sun warmed my face gently. Buddha sat in his usual spot under the Bodhi tree, radiating peace and stillness. I approached him with hesitation, my mind tangled in a web of doubts. "Master," I began, my voice trembling. My thoughts race ceaselessly, and I cannot escape their grip. The Buddha smiled faintly and gestured toward the sky where clouds drifted slowly, reflecting the hues of the setting sun. "Observe the clouds," Buddha said, pointing. "Your mind is like the restless ocean," he said. "Waves of thought crash against the shores of your consciousness." "But Master," I asked, "how can I calm the ocean when storms continue to rise?" Buddha paused and picked up a nearby leaf, studying its delicate veins. "Like the leaf carried by the wind, let your thoughts come and go." As the disciples did as instructed, the Buddha remained silent, allowing the peaceful sounds of nature to envelop them. Minutes passed, and their breathing grew steady. The distant clamor of their thoughts softened, replaced by quiet awareness. My eyes followed his hand as he pointed toward the sky mirrored in the pond. When the water stills, the reflection returns, clear and unchanged. "But, Master," I replied, frustration tinged in my voice, "how can I still the water of my mind?" Buddha looked upward at the ancient branches above us. "Do not battle the storms within. Let them pass, and stillness will find you." I struggled to understand his words, my mind rejecting simplicity. How do I allow stillness when my thoughts are so loud? Buddha smiled softly, his presence unwavering. "Detachment holds the key. Accept your thoughts without clinging or pushing them away." "But Master," I asked, "how can I let go of what feels so powerful?" "Overthinking binds you to fear, desires, and judgment," Buddha said, folding his hands in quiet reflection. "Release attachment gently." He gestured towards a lotus flower blooming nearby. "Observe how this lotus rises untouched by the muddy waters it grows in. The lotus accepts its surroundings without resistance," Buddha continued. "You too must rise above the chaos of your thoughts." Silence followed as I absorbed his words, the tension within me loosening slightly. How do I practice such detachment? I asked. "Mindfulness is the path," Buddha said. "A gentle awareness watches thoughts like clouds drifting across the expansive sky. Do not resist the clouds nor try to grasp them," he added. "Simply observe as they float and fade away." His words painted a vivid image, yet doubt still lingered within me. "Master, what is mindfulness in practice?" Buddha leaned forward slightly, his gaze steady. "Mindfulness anchors you in the present moment, neither lost in the past nor the future. Your breath is the rhythm of life," Buddha said. "Focus on its gentle flow to ground yourself in the now." I closed my eyes, following his instructions, allowing each breath to guide me like a quiet melody. Minutes passed, yet the storm inside my mind did not fully cease. "Master, is mindfulness enough to silence the mind?" Buddha placed his hand on the earth beneath him. "The earth accepts all, rain, wind, and sun, without resistance. Be like the earth." "But acceptance seems passive," I argued. "Let us sit by this pool," the Buddha said. "Its stillness holds wisdom for those who seek clarity within themselves." "It simply is. Resolve arises naturally when thoughts lose their grip over you," Buddha said. "In stillness, clarity emerges effortlessly." "I see, Master," I said, though the understanding felt incomplete. "Why do thoughts wield such power over us?" Buddha regarded me with thoughtful eyes. "Thoughts reflect attachments. Your fears, desires, and judgments fuel their strength. Overthinking is the noise of unfulfilled craving," he continued. "Silence comes when craving dissolves into contentment." I struggled to grasp his insight, my mind grappling with its own resistance. How do I dissolve craving? Through self-awareness and compassion, Buddha said. Recognize your attachments without judgment. Understand them deeply, and their power diminishes. But, Master, what if some attachments feel essential to life itself? I asked, my voice faltering. Buddha placed his hand gently on his heart. Attachments that nourish the soul align with truth. But discernment is key. The mind creates illusions. Attachment often binds us to what we do not truly need, Buddha said. Learn to listen to the quiet wisdom within, he added, his voice holding infinite patience. It guides you to authentic freedom. I lowered my gaze, humbled by his words. How can I hear the quiet wisdom? Master? Silence is the doorway, Buddha said. In stillness, the inner voice becomes audible, like a whisper carried by the wind. But silence frightens me, I admitted. It feels empty and isolating. Buddha nodded empathetically. The silence of the mind is not an absence. It is fullness, presence, wisdom, and peace. Fear arises from misunderstanding silence, he explained. The lotus roots itself deeply, unaffected by turbulence. It draws strength from its foundation and blooms above the surface. Be like the lotus, the Buddha continued. Ground yourself in your foundation, and rise above your inner storms. It is always accessible, regardless of circumstances. His words resonated deeply, stirring hope within me. How can I cultivate this sanctuary? Master? The quiet mind grows through daily practice, Buddha said. Meditation is the soil in which its roots deepen. He gestured toward the disciples meditating nearby. Dedicate time to quiet reflection, letting breath guide and thoughts settle. But meditation feels difficult, I admitted. My thoughts resist quietness fiercely. Buddha smiled warmly, his presence like a beacon. Resistance is natural but fades when met with patience and perseverance. The mind is like a wild animal, he added. Gently tame it, and it becomes your ally. His metaphor struck a chord within me, igniting determination. I will strive to tame my mind. Master? Buddha nodded, his approval silent yet profound. In silence, you will find freedom, a liberation from the noise of overthinking. Thank you, Master, I said, bowing deeply. Gratitude filled the space between us, and I felt lighter. The traveler carried a lantern to guide his steps, but the wind extinguished its flame, leaving him overwhelmed and frightened. In his despair, he encountered a wise sage who offered guidance, speaking with a voice calm and steady as the earth. That day, the garden felt brighter, the world calmer. I took my first steps towards silencing the entangled mind. Another day, another journey into the sacred teachings of the Buddha. The monastery hummed with the quiet energy of morning. I sat among the disciples, my thoughts still lingering on unresolved fears. Today, we were joined by a merchant named Jaya, who knelt before the Buddha with a troubled expression. Master, Jaya began, his voice filled with unease. I am burdened by worries about the future. My mind cannot find peace. You must silence the distractions that obscure its brilliance. Only then will you perceive its unwavering guidance, he explained. I fear failure in my decisions, Jaya replied. I overthink every outcome, trying to control what lies ahead. The Buddha nodded thoughtfully, his gaze turning toward the flowing stream nearby. Life is like this stream, he began, ever moving, beyond the grasp of control. But Master, Jaya interjected, without control, how can one ensure success or avoid disaster? The Buddha picked up a pebble and tossed it into the stream. The pebble sinks, yet the water flows undisturbed. Control is an illusion. Jaya's brows furrowed as he struggled to comprehend. If control is impossible, how can one make decisions with confidence? Master? The Buddha gestured for Jaya to sit closer. Decisions stem not from control, but from trust in the present moment's wisdom. Master, I interjected, curious about his words. Does trust mean abandoning effort and surrendering entirely to fate? Not at all, the Buddha replied. Trust is active engagement with life while releasing attachment to specific outcomes. He pointed to the bamboo swaying gracefully in the wind. The bamboo bends without breaking, adapting to the winds it cannot control. Be like the bamboo, he continued, firm in your roots yet flexible in the face of uncertainty. Jaya sighed heavily, his doubts still evident. But Master, how can I release my attachment to outcomes when they shape my happiness? The Buddha picked up a handful of sand and let it slip through his fingers. Happiness clings not to outcomes but arises from inner freedom. By clinging to sand, do you hold it longer? He asked. Or does it escape all the same? Jaya watched the sand scatter, realization dawning on his face. I see now, Master. Happiness flows like the stream, not confined by control. But, Jaya added hesitantly, how do I find this freedom when worry dominates my thoughts? The Buddha leaned back, his eyes steady and compassionate. Begin by observing worry as it arises without judgment or resistance. Trust your breath to guide you to the source of your unwavering calm. The disciples practiced as instructed, their breaths steadying, their minds quieting, as they embraced the wisdom of the Buddha. The Buddha said gently, your light is not dependent on external forces. It is born from within, unaffected by life's impermanence. Jaya nodded slowly, hope flickering in his eyes. And after awareness, Master, what comes next? Acceptance, the Buddha said. Acceptance does not mean resignation, but a serene acknowledgement of what is beyond control. He pointed to the mountains rising in the distance. The mountain accepts rain, sun, and storm alike, unshaken by their passing. But Master, Jaya argued, if one accepts everything, does it not lead to passivity? The Buddha chuckled softly, his laughter like a soothing breeze. Acceptance is not passivity, it is the foundation for wise and compassionate action. Action rooted in acceptance flows naturally, he explained. It seeks harmony, not resistance. Aligning with life's rhythm, I listened intently, my heart stirred by the simplicity of his truth. Master, how does one cultivate such acceptance? By anchoring yourself in the present moment, the Buddha said. Buddha nodded, his expression serene. The present moment is where life exists. The earth supports all life, yet it remains firmly present in every moment. Plan for the future, he continued, but live in the present. Balance your gaze without losing your footing. Jaya smiled faintly, the weight of his burden lifting. Master, Kema said quietly, his voice steadying, how do we remind ourselves to live in the present when the mind resists? Through practice, Buddha replied, his tone patient. Return to your breath, your senses, and the world around you. Again and again, in each moment lies the seed of peace. Nurture it with mindfulness. He gestured to a seedling sprouting nearby. Water it with awareness, and it will grow into the quiet strength of the bamboo. But, Master, I asked, what if the seed of worry is too deeply rooted to dislodge? Then do not fight the roots, the Buddha replied. Instead, nourish the soil with compassion and patience. Over time, he added, the roots weaken, and the seed of peace takes its place. Jaya bowed deeply, gratitude evident in his demeanor. Thank you, Master. Your wisdom has opened my heart to new understanding. The Buddha nodded, his gaze warm and encouraging. Go forth with trust, Jaya, and you will discover the freedom that worry obscures. As Jaya departed, I remained seated, reflecting on the teachings. The stream's gentle flow mirrored the lesson's profound simplicity. The sun climbed higher, its light illuminating the monastery's every corner. The air carried a renewed sense of clarity and hope. Buddha's gaze rested on each disciple, his smile a beacon of peace, his presence a reminder of life's boundless possibility. Another day, another gift of wisdom from Buddha. whose timeless teachings guided his disciples toward the freedom found within the now. Another day, another gathering beneath the ancient Bodhi tree. The sun dipped low, casting a golden hue over the monastery grounds. We sat in quiet anticipation, knowing the Buddha's teachings would soon guide us toward deeper understanding. This evening, the youngest disciple, Sita, approached with timid steps. Her eyes reflected a mix of curiosity and unease. "Master," she began hesitantly, "my mind remains restless. I cannot quiet its chaos amidst the noise of the world." The Buddha's gaze was calm, as steady as the mountain peaks that framed the horizon. "Sita," he said gently, "the world's noise is not the source of your restlessness. The true clamor resides within the mind itself." "But Master," Sita pressed, "how can I silence the mind when distractions surround me every moment of the day?" The Buddha gestured toward the horizon, where the last rays of sunlight bathed the land in serenity. "Do you hear the river, Sita?" he asked. "Its flow continues, undisturbed by the sounds of the forest." Sita nodded slowly, her focus shifting to the distant sound of water. "Yes, Master, I hear it," she replied. "The river flows steadily, unbothered by the world around it." "The quiet mind is like the river," the Buddha said, his voice carrying the depth of wisdom. "It embraces the noise without becoming it." "But Master," Sita asked, "how can I cultivate such quietness within myself?" The Buddha leaned forward slightly, his presence radiating profound stillness. "Stillness begins with a single breath, Sita. The breath is your anchor amidst life's storms. Focus on your breath as it flows in and out," he continued. "It connects you to the present moment's truth." Sita closed her eyes, her breathing deepening as she followed his guidance. A calmness seemed to settle over her expression. "Master," she said softly, "the breath feels like a sanctuary, yet my thoughts still intrude." The Buddha smiled, his patience infinite. "Do not resist your thoughts, Sita. Observe them as clouds drifting across the vast sky. Allow each thought to come and go without clinging or judgment," he added. "Stillness arises when you no longer fight the flow." "But Master," Sita asked, her voice tinged with doubt, "how can I distinguish between presence and emptiness in the mind?" "Presence is not emptiness, Sita," the Buddha replied, his words like a gentle river. "It is fullness without distraction. Imagine the pond at dawn," he said. "When its surface is still, it reflects the world with perfect clarity. The quiet mind reflects truth with the same clarity." He continued, "It is not empty, but filled with wisdom and peace." Sita opened her eyes, her expression contemplative. "Master, does the quiet mind require solitude to flourish?" "Solitude can nurture stillness," the Buddha said, "but the quiet mind is not bound by external conditions. It resides within, even amidst chaos. You can carry stillness like a lantern lighting your path," he added, his voice unwavering. Sita nodded, her determination growing. "How can I strengthen this stillness, Master, so it does not waver?" "The quiet mind grows through practice," the Buddha explained. "Meditation, mindfulness, and compassion are its roots, branches, and leaves. Begin each day with meditation," he continued. "Let your focus rest on the breath, and allow stillness to deepen." "But, Master," Sita asked, "what if distractions persist despite my efforts?" "Distractions are like ripples on the pond's surface," the Buddha said. "They may disturb, but the depth remains unchanged. Return to your breath each time you notice distraction," he advised. Persistence transforms ripples into stillness over time. Sita bowed deeply, her gratitude evident in her posture. "Thank you, Master. Your teachings are like the river, guiding me toward peace." The Buddha smiled, his compassion boundless. "Carry these teachings with you, Sita. The quiet mind is a gift you give yourself." As the disciples dispersed, the night deepened, the world bathed in the glow of the full moon. The monastery seemed to hum with the energy of understanding. The air filled with a profound sense of calm. In the stillness of the evening, I reflected on the Buddha's words. They resonated within me like the steady rhythm of the river's flow. The quiet mind, I realized, is not an absence of thought but a presence of harmony. It is a sanctuary untouched by the storms of life. And so, with each breath, I took my first steps toward cultivating the quiet mind, a journey both inward and boundless. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.